All right, all right. That was a really short break. We're back. It is Hawkeye from the RSL, and we have from Rival Gaming. Do you still go by Tramp, or do you, I see your alias is TryThePriest.
We'll just
So,
go. We'll just go with try if you need something short.
okay, so we'll call you Try because you try so hard
Yeah,
and yet so
that's right.
far,
I knew
but in
it.
the end.
No, no, we're done. We're done.
So yeah, we're gonna have a PVZ series, probably one of the more hyped up ones for the North America server because it's Creature and JonSnow, both top figures on the NA ladder, both grandmasters in their own sense.
Yes, like this is a series. This is like caliber of player good enough that even if you don't want to listen to our casting, you can just turn it on the stream and mute us. So this is how good the talent we have right now is. Gotta pay that mad respect.
Yeah, and so we're already gonna jump into the game because production is on my side for once this evening. So in the top left-hand corner, it's a red Zerg player from Flipside Tactics, losing that first opportunity to advance down to the round 16. Can he do it? It's JonSnow.
Yes, and in the bottom left, we have coming off a survival series, hoping to destroy an opponent he hasn't yet had the chance to encounter, but certainly must play a lot in ladder. We have TAs, professional teams, Creature, Team Ascension.
So yeah, what can you tell me about the spawning positions and how that's going to influence the game between these two players on this map?
Well, it's going to be nice for it's going to be kind of nice for Creature because the Overlord will scout a bit later, just based off how the Overlord timing works. But the Overlord will basically guarantee a scout inside the main, so it'll be harder for Creature to hide tech. I think Creature would have preferred cross positions. It worked out really, really well for him in his previous game, as you saw. So it's not ideal, but if he's going for something like a big Immortal push, it's still not even ideal because you would want horizontal. Because I'm pretty sure the map is longer than it is wide.
Yeah, so what do you think about this gas first and then pool from JonSnow?
Well, I think we're gonna have some aggression.
Yeah, you think so? You really think so?
Do you?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
what this kind of thing is like you're hoping your opponent opened up Nexus first, and then you're just gonna lane flood him, but no such luck. Creature has opened up Gateway first, which means it's on Creature to mess up for this to do game-ending damage. And I doubt that'll happen because Creature opened up Gateway first in the first place, which means he was aware of the possibility of something like this.
Yeah, I assume that they probably ran across each other on the ladder a lot, so there's probably some ladder history that both players are drawing upon right now to see if they can throw off the other player and just get that little bit of an advantage.
Definitely, and it will be that little bit of an advantage that probably clinches the series, because I do think these two, while I would give the edge to JonSnow, they're of course two very competent, good, experienced players. And when you have people like this, it really can just go in anyone's favor.
Definitely. So we're seeing the Mothership Core is going to get chrono boosted out. Is going to get called down just like a normal game, and we're going to start seeing these Ling of Floods. Yeah, Flood of Links.
Yes, unfortunately, he's sending them cross-map, which is not necessarily ideal. Hopefully he knows where his opponent is, and the
But he
Overlord scout...
does. He scouts
Oh,
the Cyber Core, so he
yes.
gets it right at the last moment. So just grabbing the Zelnaga Tower just for some vision for time being, and we're gonna see these Lings come in right about the time the speed's about done. So
So this Mothership Core will be the first thing that sees this. It's going to get some immediate pokes on the lanes. There's no wall off up the ramp. So getting this pylon will be nice. Now the wall off goes down. The lanes will not be getting to the main. The question is whether this Nexus is going to be cancelled. There will not be a Photon overcharge for this fight unless it drags out for a very long time, which is critical. Why JonSnow is going to try to attack the Stalker, reason being is that, oh no, this is really bad. He's using all his Lings. He must be confident that he can break this Stalker, but I don't know, that confidence might be a little bit of a weak point for him.
yeah, but that pylon actually not leaving room with that gateway behind it, so we're gonna see that cancel here. And
There is a Photon overcharge now. Like, this fight has dragged on long enough that I think the Protoss can quite easily stabilize. I highly doubt that JonSnow will get this Nexus. He
Yeah.
is forced to go home. Luckily, he went for a pretty quick natural behind it. This isn't the all-in variant of 14-14, but I think there's no real question about who came ahead in this little engagement. If we look at the worker count, it's clearly in Creature's favor with only 14 workers. Creature is literally doubling the worker count of his opponent. There is no way for these Zerglings to do more damage. This is almost an irrecoverable deficit that JonSnow has put himself into.
Yeah, we're gonna see that these gateways are finishing up. Warp gate's just about finished, so we're gonna see a Zealot come out here, and those gates are gonna unfold. But no photon overcharge, so these Zerglings are gonna actually get a good amount of probes here. But
Yeah,
even trapping a couple of them.
That really shouldn't have happened, but this is what JonSnow needs to do, right? Like, this is the kind of thing that has to happen. If he gets this Nexus that is actually really what he needed to turn this game around, I don't think he will, but this is good. He's burning force fields, he's pressuring his opponent, making him worry, killing probes. If he wants to equalize this game, which it hasn't yet, this is exactly what he needs to do.
Yeah, ooh, saving that sentry at the last second here, but burning a ton of force fields and still continuing to make lings. He's committed to taking out this Nexus.
He shouldn't be. Like, he probably just recognizes that there's no way he can play macro from here. He has no third hatch, his opponent's on so many probes. He could literally kill 8 probes like he did and it wouldn't really make a dent, and it hasn't. This is a rough position to play from, and I'm really curious to see how JonSnow reacts, because I personally, as a Zerg player, like, don't know what I would do from this position.
Yeah, so JonSnow just making sure that there's not a third base. So he's gonna see that, and you think he's just waiting for a move out from the Protoss player at all? Do you think he's waiting for Creature to do a misstep?
He's throwing down this Roach Warren and this Gas Geyser, or maybe he's planning to do a Roachling all in. I don't know what he does. Like, you have to hope for your opponent to make a misstep. That's exactly it. He's waiting around, he's using these links to be really active. He's looking for a weakness, and his only hope is to try and exploit it. Because at this point, the supplies aren't too different, but these are mostly lings, and as you know, lings are pretty garbage.
Yeah, but we see a Roach Warren's going to be finished up here, and on Creature side, he's actually got a Dark Shrine coming. So
Yes, I was expecting Blink watching that Twilight Council, but it looks like he's trying to end this game with some pretty resoundingly powerful tech. And the reason this is strong is because he has so many sentries that no Overlord will ever be able to get that far into his base, and he knows no layer is on the way. This DT Shrine is effectively invisible, because unless Creature messes up, there is no way to scout it. And this is a smart way to secure your third too. DTs are a great way to protect bases.
yeah, but we're going to see the Lings are going to try to get a run by in, but smartly so sees the army behind it and knows that there's probably a Zealot waiting, so he's going to pull out.
Looks like a little Roach push out. It's the kind of thing that needs to happen. It's plain and true that JonSnow just hasn't done enough damage so far for what he's committed to. He really was banking on that Nexus first, which just hasn't happened. These Roaches will be trying to avoid vision, I'm not sure what. And, oh, the Phoenix sees this, and this is really JonSnow's last hope. This has to do what he needs it to do.
Yeah, so we're going to see a good amount of Roaches are going to make their way over, and there is a third base in the hopes that maybe things will even out with this this next move, but yeah, like you said, this is JonSnow's going to be last. It's going to be his last stand for this game.
Well, I thought Next was dead too, so perhaps we shouldn't call it. But Next actually is dead now, so it's okay. We were right in the end. Hydras didn't save him.
So yeah, we're going to see a ton of Roaches are actually being made, so you know, this might be something. We see that he's going up the layer, he's still getting some drones, he's still kind of trying to find himself in this game, but yeah, he's still kind of waiting for that opportunity to get back into this game here, but
And you know,
JonSnow has to work on that misstep.
The DT Shrine is done. The Spore Callers are out, so JonSnow knows that there's something like this that could happen, so he will be ready for this. But even so, like, he doesn't need the DGs to do damage. He's still really far ahead.
Yeah, so we're gonna see that the army is split up between JonSnow, but it's still a small amount of units compared to this Protoss army. And the Protoss army is probably the same size, but with these force fields, it really makes the Protoss army in a much more favorable position going into this. But we're gonna see this pylon's gonna go down here, and the Protoss army from Creature is gonna push forward.
Oh boy. I mean, like, holding this is possible because he's committed to roaches instead of getting hydras, but it's still quite difficult to push back.
Yeah, so force fields are gonna go down here. Time warp actually slows things down, and a number of the roaches actually get caught. So good positioning so far, but these roaches get pulled back smartly, and I'm gonna another time warp goes down, but the forward aggressive blink forces the drones to pull off the line, and I think this is just too much Protoss. This is gonna be it for JonSnow. That's GG.
That's GG. Oh boy, that is a rough loss to take. You know, you have an instinct. Like you said, we talked about this earlier. It's like desperation versus having an effective read on your opponent. In that game, JonSnow thought Creature would open up greedy. Maybe he had some ladder game experience. Who knows? But in the end, Creature with the safe play managed to clinch an easy first game, putting JonSnow, arguably the best Zerg on NA, one game away from total elimination from the RSL.
Yeah, this is big for Creature, and it's definitely going to be a confidence booster going into the second map because he has a little bit of wiggle room now that he's out of the elimination potential elimination, but he's not out of the woods yet. JonSnow is still looking to make a comeback, so
It's interesting that JonSnow chose to take a gamble. I think he might be a little bit rattled by his games versus what was his name? Strange.
yeah.
He tried to play straight up versus Strange. He played very economical, and it worked kind of. And I think his decision to choose Creature might have less to do with Creature and more to do with Protoss. So maybe you are right. Maybe we are seeing a little bit of nerves coming out of JonSnow. Hopefully he can get those out of control because he only has one life left.
Yeah, but we're going to see that both players are now in the lobby, and it looks like they're going to be ready to go. So JonSnow he knows what's going to be up. Creature is ready to go. We're going to get into this game. It is Cactus Valley. This will be the last time we're going to see this evening.
Yes.
And this is going to be it.